But let's move on. Let's talk about earnings from a sector which seems to be completely untouched by the slowdown. Continues to see double-digit top-line growth, and I'm talking about Berger Paints, steady top-line for paint sector in the first quarter. The margin performance amid the raw material volatility is something that we would like to gauge with Abhijit Roy, MD and CEO at Berger Paints. Abhijit, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. You know, we've been talking about the slowdown all across the entire economy, especially the consumption leg. How is it that paint companies are the only ones which are still managing to post growth? I mean, who's been buying?
So, paint fortunately continues to grow in bad times and good times. It's been seen earlier as well, that when we were going through the turmoil in the 2008-9 period or even in demonetization era, the paint growth was relatively much better than the industry at large. So therefore, that has been the nature, of the paint industry. Probably two things happening. One is in the upcountry areas, where the construction goes unabated. People have money and they do buy paint. Paint, fortunately, was never, something where people took loan from a bank and was painting their house. Normally is the accumulation and then they use that money for painting when they feel that it needs to be painted. So we were not affected by the liquidity issues, which are typically happen, whether it is in 2008-9 or when the demonetization, when the money goes out of the system. Typically, therefore, the paint industry, the repainting part of it, at least in the decorative category, continues to, give a better performance.
The auto companies, Abhijit, are telling us that the reason why their numbers are looking that bad is because last 1 year they only created a lot of inventory. And now that demand has gone down, it is the inventory management problem which is creating a bigger problem, and the slowdown at the retail level is not that large. What is the, your understanding of inventory and supply chain levels for paint companies? Do you think somewhere the numbers which we get from companies essentially do not tell you the real picture because those are wholesale numbers? What we need to focus on is the retail number?
No, not really, because we have a different type of a system. We sell directly to dealers, in the paint industry, mostly in the decorative side. And dealers then sell to customers. Now, if they are unable to sell, I don't think they are going to keep on investing money on stock and therefore, keep paying us. So we have to keep a strict watch on the outstanding situation. Since that is under control, it is obvious that sale is happening at the ground level. Or otherwise, the ground reports also indicate that there has been offtake happening, especially in the upcountry areas.
In the monsoon month, monsoon typically is not the time when you want to repaint your house. Painting is normally done in and around festival season, before or just closer to Diwali. So if the dispatch numbers for the monsoon season are strong, are you in for a bumper, period before the festival season when the real paint demand will start?
No, but the numbers that we have declared is for April, May, June. April happens to be one of the biggest months for the paint industry, because typically this is a summer month and, after the agricultural output is there, people have a lot of money and they tend to paint in the upcountry towns. So the type of demand shoots up in the month of April. So April and May are big months and June typically is a lower base month. Even in July, for example, it is a monsoon month. Sale will be there. Some amount of stocking does happen for August and September. But, nothing extraordinary is happening this year.
Like how we're putting you in the spot and getting a sense of all the other consumption industries as well. But, really good to get in that perspective. But tell me about, the nitty-gritties of your business. How has the decorative segment done? How has the industrial paint segment done? And what kind of visibility do you have on the volumes from these particular segments?
So decorative, did much better than the 16% that you are seeing overall. So the growth rate is higher in decorative. It is also relatively higher in protective coatings. Automotive, as can be seen, from the industry at large, we had a negative growth rate there. So overall, therefore, we came down to that 16%. In terms of profitability, it has been a fairly strong quarter because of the raw material price drops which have happened. As far as looking into the future, it's very difficult to say how the future will pan out. As of now, things are okay. As you can see, from the numbers that have been delivered. But no one can say with certainty what will happen. If the monsoons, as of now, it looks okay. It's spreading quite well. But that's a big factor that needs to be kept in mind. Of course, the GDP at large, whether it picks up steam in the automotive category, whether things come back on even keel. These are things which have to be watched, but we are not unduly worried.
Discussing, like you rightly said, is Q1 numbers. How exactly is Q2, which is the current quarter, different from Q1?
So Q2, for example, the August, September is the seasonal months. Typically, the sales tend to pick up in the paint industry as you mentioned earlier. So September specifically should be a very big month. So it will depend on how September goes. If it goes well, then we should see quite a strong quarter in quarter 2 as well.
Sure. Abhijit, going forward, do you expect volume-based growth to be kind of the new way forward, or are you expecting both volume and price-led growth?
Both should be happening. Volume growth is necessary because otherwise it will be difficult. We have taken, in fact, price cut in enamels, recently because the raw material prices had dropped and we have passed on the benefit to consumers. So that has been a little bit of an impact in the value sales there. But our mix has been improving, and we hope that that will be more than countered by the mix change that goes through.
Just to get it right, Abhijit, would you say that it will be more a dynamic of pricing as opposed to volume growth?
No, it will be more of volume growth and a marginal increase in pricing.
Okay. Just to wrap it up, do you also get a sense that whereas growth numbers will be okay, there could be a significant downtrading in your categories, which means that within the decorative category, yes, you will sell, but you will not sell the premium decorative category. You may not sell, the top line category, and there could be significant downtrading across the board now?
So far, that has not been the case. So we don't see any reason why suddenly people should look at down trading. Typically, those who have the money and who want to paint and want paint which lasts long, will go for high quality paint, whether it is the interior paint or the exterior paint. Because paint cost is only 40% of the total cost of painting. 60% is labor cost. So no one wants to repeat this exercise quite often by compromising on the quality of paint. So I don't see that happening. So it will be each to his own. Wherever whoever has whatever money, he will take accordingly the material.
Just wanted to get in some more details on your raw material basket, because we understand there's a bit of a divergence there where titanium dioxide prices have moved up, at the same time crude prices have dipped. How is it that you foresee your raw material basket to be heading in, say, the next 1 or 2 quarters?
So it's been relatively stable of late. Though titanium dioxide has moved up, but it's marginal increase. And the monomer prices, which is another big RM which we use in making emulsions or water-based paints, that has dipped in some cases. So overall, therefore, it's more or less stable for the last few months. I don't see that fluctuating too much going forward.
Just to wrap it up, what you are sharing with us and what you want to communicate to your investors is that, look, India may be slowing down, but for the paint industry right now, things are looking good, and closer to festival season, good will only become very good.
Well, it has been good so far. Whether it will become very good or not, time will say. I won't comment on that.
Okay. All right, Mr. Roy, I appreciate your time and thank you for joining us.